Hi, Peter Boolkah here, and welcome to today's edition of the Transition Guy. Now, today we're going to talk about management, but more importantly, around why management tends to be overlooked. Because I don't know what it is, but a lot of people out there, they get so hung up on leadership, always leadership this, leadership that. I need to read a leadership book. But the question is, and this is one thing I like that what David Goggins says, you can't lead till you can manage. And you've done quite a lot of work around management, haven't you? And you've got a term for sort of management. What do you call it?
Well, people quite often see it as leadership's little brother. I remember I saw recently an internet meme that said, I can't remember it exactly, but the tone of it was, oh, you're not a leader, you're only a manager. Like you have to, you get promoted from a manager to a leader. And the problem is, if you've got a business just full of leaders and no management, as you know, nothing gets done. Who's ticking the boxes? Who's checking the stuff gets done? Everybody's running around full of enthusiasm, but you've got no execution. So management is so overlooked, and like just get a KPI, get one number.
Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think that management is that overlooked?
Because it's kind of seen as boring. It's kind of seen as not as cool, and actually a lot of people don't understand it. They don't really. They think that people are only managers, so they want to be a leader because maybe they've seen Simon Sinek talk and they're inspired to be a great leader, and people talk about Churchill being a great leader, but actually no one talks about the person who at the back who gets all the stuff done behind that, and it's really important because otherwise you just got chaos.
So we're talking about an absence of systems here. One of the greatest things when I was working in McDonald's was probably one of the greatest systems in the world. I mean, literally, that was the first turnkey business out there. And McDonald's runs everything on systems. System first, person second. If something's not working, we look at the system first, just to make sure there's not a problem with the system before we look at the person. But a lot of these businesses, they do not have these systems in place. So if I was an MD, I'm thinking, okay, well, what you're saying is making sense. I need to have a system in place, but I don't want to put the system in place. How do you overcome that?
Well, I think it's good to have somebody from outside come in and start asking those hard questions about how things get done. I remember sitting in the boardroom of a construction firm last year, and actually really process-driven MD, and we were having a conversation. Stuff wasn't getting done, and he said, "We've got a process for that. We've got a process for that." I said, "Well, where is it? Where's in the manual? Where's the manual?" I think it's on the shelf, like over there, gathering dust. And so just because you've got a process doesn't mean you've got a system. So the system, how I see it, is that sits over the top of the process to make sure it gets done. And having somebody to come in and ask those questions, saying, okay, yeah, you've got your checklist, yeah, you've got this flow chart, but who owns it? Who's marked on whether it's done or not? And that having that external come in and ask those questions, I think is crucial.
And I think that's quite a good point, actually, because what you tend to find is a lot of people try to do it in-house for whatever reason. I'm going to save cost. But the reality is a lot of these people do their day job anyway, and it's a secondary thing, so it gets lost, and before you know it, you don't get traction. I mean, I've got a couple of clients that's talked about sort of systemization and process of certain areas of the business, and when they try doing it themselves, in all fairness, with the greatest of respect, it's taken forever. Whereas when they brought someone in from the outside to do it, what you tend to find is that person's given that project now has a time frame, so guess what happens? It gets driven to completion. And because you're paying that external person to do that, what tends to happen, you tend to value it a lot more, because actually that's an investment you made in your business. It's an investment that you don't want to see actually sort of go to waste, so you're more likely to do it. So I think there's some really good points there around systemization and process, and really, if you can have all the process in the world, if you don't have the system to ride that process and actually follow it, then your process is as good as dead. So if you're looking to process your business, systemize it, etc., you want to have more conversations, head over to boolkah.com, get in touch. But remember this, at the end of the day, outside help is always good. So you can always get yourself that right consultant that all they do day in, day out is make sure that they create the systems that you can then be tailored to your business, that you can follow, get the accountability in place, get the managers doing the managing so that you can do the strategy and grow the business. Jeff, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Always remember this, failing to learn is learning to fail, and failing to act is damn stupid. Thank you.